Hey everybody, it's Jason with the Board Game Mechanics, and today we're going to take a look at a game called Vulgari Eloquentia. Vulgari Eloquentia is a game designed by Mario Papini, published by Geochic and Z-Man. I'm not sure how you say Geochic. Plays 2 to 5 players in a whole pile of time, 120 minutes. It's going to go every bit of 120 minutes. And what you're trying to do in this is, let me see if I can recount the theme. I played the game a couple times, but the theme is whatever. You're basically trying to bring language, different types of language, to the Italian people. And you're going to be doing that through merchant, travel. You're going to be doing that through the church and the clergy and all that kind of thing. And maybe, if that wasn't enough, you might want to go from being a merchant to a friar to a cardinal to ultimately being the new pope, because the pope is sick in this one and is eventually going to die. And that's kind of what you're doing. So you're doing some religious stuff. You're doing some collecting money from different areas. You're trying to collect these manuscripts to compile the new language for the people. That's it. Effectively how that breaks down, it's an action selection game. You're going to have 5 or 6 actions depending on the character, and you're going to be going to different areas that cost certain amounts of actions to try to do the things to score the most points. You're going to be moving up on some tracks, collecting cubes that you're going to be using in some elections and some other kinds of things, and just trying to do the best you can with what little actions you have over the course of possibly 18 rounds, 17 rounds, I think, but it could be less. So let's just go on the table, see how it works. All right, so here's a game of De Vulgari Eloquentia. I'm not good with Italian or Latin, whatever this is in. Probably Italian since there's Italy here, but that's the name of the game. It's right there. All set up for 2 players. Setup is, it's a little interesting, so let's go over that kind of quickly, and then we'll get to how the game plays. So to set up, you're going to give each player a bunch of discs in their color, and one of these player boards, which I'm going to keep off to the side just because it's not necessary for what I'm showing you. All you're going to hide behind here are your manuscripts that you get and cubes. So, I mean, for what I'm showing you, you don't need that, but you will have one of those. And you're going to get a pawn, a little merchant, friar, or cardinal as the game progresses. You're going to randomly pick a first player. They're going to be on the bottom of this pile here, and then they're going to be first on turn order. So you'll put a disc there, a disc there. And then in reverse turn order, you're going to pick a starting space on the map. So it's the neutral, non-colored spaces that have names on them. So I've done that. Then what you're going to do is you're going to set up the actual board. You can set up the actual board first, but you're going to shuffle these tiles. What are these called? Canticle of the Sun tiles. Franciscan. They're going to mark certain Franciscan cities. And you're going to randomly flip them, and they're going to reference one of these tracks, which we'll get to. Then you're going to shuffle all the manuscripts. Based on a number of players, you're going to take out one of every color from a certain stack based on number of players. So in a 2-player game, take out 5 of one of each color. So 5 tiles from this, 5 from this, 5 from this, and none from 4. And you're going to flip up the number of players right here. And then you're going to shuffle the papal, what is that called? The papal library tiles, put them there. And then you'll put out the friar rolls and the cardinal rolls, put the extra action disc on cardinal Murray, sort out the money. And then the main setup of the board here is the events and cubes. So based on the number of players, you're going to have a certain number of cubes that's going to go in the bag. And then you're going to draw all those out of the bag, and you're going to put in a 2-player game 4 on every round space. So I've done that here. And then also on every round, which is kind of why they're like diagonal like that, you're going to have an event tile. So there's going to be an event and some cubes available for every round of the game except round 11. And that, well, there's not down here, but as we discard cubes, they're going to come down the stack. Then you'll get the rest of the 5 action discs. You'll give them to the first player, and we're ready to go. So the first event that came in is down here in Palermo, and it's going to give you 50 extra Ducati if you're down here taking an action. Now, let's talk about how the game works. The first thing that happens on a turn is we're going to flip an event, which I did there. We will then move cubes if there are any cubes left over. So if this goes down to round 2 and these cubes are left over, these will move down to the next adjacent empty space. Then we will fill up the manuscripts again to the level that we need, and then we'll do charity, which we'll get into in a little bit, and then we'll do player order, which is opposite. So whoever's farthest back on this track is first player, and if you're on the bottom, you're considered farther back. All right, now let's go ahead and start. So on your turn, you have 5 action discs, unless you have this cardinal, and then you'll have 6 to take actions. Each of the spaces on the board that take actions look like this. They're going to have a number and they're going to have a circle to put the action space on. So let's go over the spaces. This one is going to, you can only go there with 1 disc, and it's going to give you 3 knowledge. This is the knowledge track here. This is how you're going to get manuscripts. We all have a knowledge of 1 right now. You can see the 1 right there, which we can only get 1 manuscript. But as we move up, we're going to have access to even better manuscripts, which is basically the points. So this is worth 4, 3, 2, and 1. And they have colors. We're trying to do a set collection. We want to get 1 of all 5 colors from any of the levels. It doesn't matter. So we can get 5 extra points. So that's this one. And if you're in last on this track, so if red went here, they could get 4 knowledge. Everyone else will get 3. This one, pretty easy. This is $10. You just go there and you take $10. It's small business. So this is Saltario. This is small business. Go there, take $10. This one is the not the Orient. Yeah, Orient. Nope, that's moving. Movement. That's the movement space. And then you can go there up 1 to 5 spaces. If you move more than 1 space, you have to spend 10 Ducati. But so movement will work like this. If I wanted to move 1, it's free, no money. I could take my disc or my worker, move it to an adjacent area. Adjacent is considered to share a border. So this will be adjacent, this is adjacent. If I'm in a port city, I could move into the water and just hang out for 1 movement. Now, say I'm in a port city. Let's talk about some more movement. Say I'm in a port city. I can move from land, sea, to any other port for 3 actions. So I go there with my 3 actions, spend my $10, and I could go basically 1, 2, 3, and I could get over to that section of Italy. So you have to be able to do that. But you can always just move 1, wait till your next round, and then move into any port that's connected to that sea. All right, down here's the Orient section. When you go down here, you can only go down here if you're a merchant. Put disc there. I've put 2 discs there. I'd move up 2. If I can get to the end of this track and I'm a merchant, whenever I get money at a location, you can see at Rome, I could get 15 Ducati. If I'm all the way at the end, I could then get 25 Ducati because I get an extra 10 every time I earn money from an event tile or the city. And that'll make more sense when we do those actions. Then over here, bunch more actions we can do. So up here, this is the Riddle of Verona. What you're going to do here is you're trying to just get up as high as you can. The trick with this one is you have to be in the blue region of the board to be able to take that action. So if I was at Venice, I could go here, take my disc, put it on number 2. You're trying to be as far ahead as you can in this. You want to be the first player, and whatever number you're past, if you're the first player, you're going to get those points at the end of the game. So just attract to score points. Then we're going to have the, what is that one? The messenger track. This one, when you go here, say I went there with a 2, I would move up. When I get to the end, a couple things happen. I have to discard a certain number of yellow cubes, which are abysses, and spend a certain number of money, depending on when that happens, to be able to get to Bologna to get knowledge. The only way you can activate Bologna is by getting up to the end of that messenger track, spending the cube, spending the money, getting to Bologna, and taking the action. So that's kind of a complicated track, but it's important nonetheless. So that's the messenger. Then we have, which one's that? That is the Papal Library. That one doesn't even come into existence until round 12. So we can just pretend like that doesn't exist now. But what that's going to basically do is you're going to move here. You're going to get to take some of these tiles based on what number you get past. And it's just points. They're just tiles that have like one of these numbers on it. That's it. 2 through 4. This one, that is the Canticle of the Sun. And the way that that works is, that's going to be activated by these square tiles here on certain rounds. So in round 2, that track becomes active. Then 6, then 10, then 11, then 12. And the way that that works is, if in round 2, I'm not sure if that is Gubbio, I can then take actions. I could go 2 actions over here, and I can move up 2 on this track. The trick here is, in order to move up on this track, you have to discard abysses back to the board. So moving up here is not free. You need abysses to move up on that track. And whoever's farthest along that track gets 9 points. Second gets 4. So it's not something, it's worth a good amount of points, because you're not going to get a ton of points in this game. Then, down here's how you're going to be able to get some cubes. There's other ways, but this is the main way. I can go here with 1, and I can take 1 yellow cube from the supply, as long as it's available in that round. So in round 1, we only have access to yellow. I could go there with 1 disc, pay 15 Ducati, take 1 yellow cube. Or I could go there with 4 disc, pay 30, and take 2 yellow cubes. All these are going to kind of function the same. This one, I go there with 1, pay 30, take 1 red cube if it's available. Go there with 4, take 2 red cubes for 60 if they're available. Green, they don't cost any money, but I could go there with 1, take 1 green, go there with 4, take 2 green. Black, same thing, take 1, take 2 if I go there with 4. But the only difference with black is, when you take a black cube, which is I think a nobleman, you can then instantly sell it for 20 Ducati. So I could take 2 and then sell both of them, sell 1 of them, whatever I want to do to get some money. And then this bottom track here is resting. If I go here with 2 discs, it'll take my disc and I'll go here. And whoever's farthest along this track, you don't care about this track anymore, will become first player. But if you don't go here, it's just based on knowledge. And then over here, this is how you're going to get manuscripts. The cost of getting a manuscript is the number in the circle. So to get a level 1, I need to take 1 disc. To get a level 2, I need to be at 2 disc, but this disc would also need to be here. To get a 3, I need 3 disc. I need to be over here. And to get a 4, you need to get all the way around here and use 4 discs. There is a level 8. Once all the level 1s are out of the game, that means someone's taken them. Level 8 will slide in. Everything will slide up and level 8 will become available. And you have to get all the way over to here to take that. And it will be 4 actions. All right, now I think that's it. Let's finally get down to playing this game, and I'll try to explain a little bit more, because this game is a beast. All right, so let's finally play this bad boy. So we're all starting out as merchants. Throughout the game, we're probably, if you want to score a pile of points, you're going to need to do this. You're going to turn from a merchant to a friar, and then possibly from a friar into a cardinal, and then maybe from the cardinal into the pope to score a pile of points. Because the pope is eventually going to die in this section of the game here, because he's sick. All right? So let's get started. So I'm over here. Red is first, and I have 5 actions to do some stuff. So let's see here. I think what I want to do is, first thing I want to do is do this. So I'm going to go 3 actions, because I'm going to move 3. So I'll go 3, spend my $10. And I'll go 1, 2, 3. All right, I am now at a convent, an abbey, sorry. No, convent, yes. So when there's a couple spaces on the board, there's a convent, there is the cathedral, and there's the abbey. These spaces are not colored spaces, and they're going to offer you different things. When you go to a convent, you can convert from a merchant into a friar, which is what I'm going to show you. When you go to a cathedral, you can go from a friar into a cardinal by paying some money and either a red or a black cube. And when you go to the abbey, you can hire abbesses or recruit abbesses, but you still have to spend action spaces over here for free instead of paying the money. And you can turn any of these green, what are they called? Amanuensis, I don't know how to say that, into points. So when you take these, they're going to stay out in front of your player board. And it's not until you go to an abbey that they go behind your player screen to score points. So they're the only cubes that don't go directly behind your screen. So I moved 3. I went to the convent. I want to turn into a friar. Now the way that works is, you have to discard half your money rounded up. I spent $10. I had $10. I don't have any money, so I don't have to discard any money. Then I'm going to take one of these tiles, and I'm going to get some kind of benefit when I take that tile. And I think I'm going to take this one. And it goes in front of me. I'm now a friar. So I'm going to have an unlimited black cube that I can use for anything that I need to, as long as I have this tile. Okay, and I'm also instantly going to get 7 knowledge. So I'll move up on that track. Wish these were numbered. All right, so now I'm trying to get to level 2, which is good. All right, now I'm in no color territory, which is interesting. And I'm going to go ahead and I'll go. I don't have any money. So let's just take 10 bucks. I'll take my 10 bucks back. 10 Ducati. And then I think I'm going to come over here. And I'm just going to move up on the messenger track. All right. And that's my turn. I spent all 5 of my actions. Now, this next player's turn. We're still in round 1, but now it's yellow's turn. So they're going to do similar things. Let's see. I want to show you how some of the cities work, so let's do some of that. So I think what they're going to do is they're going to move 1. Doesn't cost them any money. And they're going to come here. And now they're going to activate this city. If you look at the board, it's worth 30 coins and 7 knowledge. So they'll take their disc and they'll put it there so they know they activated it. They can never activate it again. They can go there, they just can't get the bonus. So they'll take 30 money. Oh, I took a 50. That's a 50. Just kidding. I need a 10. So they'll take 30 money. And they're going to get 7 knowledge. So they're now with me. And then that's their movement. Now they have 4 other actions. They can do some things. And I think what they want to do is they're going to come up here, take some more knowledge. They'll get 3 because they're not in the last. 1, 2, 3. And then they're going to come over here, hire an abbess, and that's 15. So they'll get their 5 back. Take 1 abbess cube. It goes behind their screen. Again, I don't have the screen, but you get it. And then they have 2 discs left. What else do they want to do? I think, man, they can't move anywhere. They'll just go here and they'll move 2 on the messenger trick. All right, done. Now that's the end of the round. A couple things happen at the end of the round. First thing is, this will go to round 2. We'll bring out the new event. All these cubes will come down to the next empty space. Okay? Then we're bringing in this. This is going to Rome. If any of those were used, we'd refill. Then we're going to redetermine turn order. So red is in last. They become first place. And yellow, our first player, yellow is second still. All right. One more thing. Because I'm a friar, I'm going to get some kind of charity. Now the way that works is, if I have more money than everyone who's a merchant, so right now yellow's a merchant, I would take money from the bank. I would take $5 from the bank. If I don't have more money than the merchant has to pay friars $5, 5 Ducatis. If I was a cardinal, I would get $10 in charity, and you pay at the richest, wealthiest merchant pays everybody. So if there are multiple players, you can end up paying a bunch of money. I did that when we played and it was terrible. All right, so now we'll start round 2. So let's see how round 2 shakes out. All right, so now round 2 has the Canticle of the Sun track available. So if we get to this city, we can spend abbess cubes to be able to move up this track. And I think that's what yellow's going to try. I'm not going to try it, but I'm going to go back to blue, I think. Yeah. So I'm going to spend 1 movement to go to blue. I'm going to go back to blue. Then I'm going to spend another action. I'm going to take this blue manuscript tile because I'm at a level 1 in knowledge. I'm in a blue region, so I can take this tile. It will go behind my screen. No one knows that I have that. Or no one knows, you can't see what people have. They know you have it because they watched you get it. Let's see. Then I think I'm in the back on knowledge. Ooh, there's green cubes though. Ooh, let's do that. So I'm going to come over here. I'll take a green cube. That goes in front of my board, so I'll put it up here. And then I have 2 discs left. So I'm going to spend 2. I'm in blue, so I'm going to move up on the Riddle of Verona. right there. So I'm going to try to get some points at the end of the game. All right, and that's my turn. That's the 5 actions. Now it goes to yellow, and they're going to do their thing. And I think what they want to do is they're going to go 1, 2, 3. They're going to move 3. That cost them 10. And then they're going to go 1, 2, 3. They're now at the city, the Franciscan city that they need for the Canticle of the Sun. And they're going to spend 1 up there. It costs 1 yellow cube that will come down here. And they'll get to move 1 on the Canticle of the Sun. So they're now in the lead for those big 9 points. They have 1 disc left, and I think they will go here. And that will give them 3 knowledge. 1, 2, 3. All right. So that's the end of that round. We take the disc back. We will move the cubes down to here. We'll bring out a new tile to here. And then we'll look at charity. Okay. Oh, we also have to refill a manuscript here, finally. Okay. Then we'll look at charity. The friar has more money than the merchant, so the merchant doesn't have to pay. The friar just gets their money from the bank. All right, round 3 time. In turn order, I'm still red still first because they're in farther back on the knowledge track. All right, what do I want to do here? Let's do, I want some money. So let's do, I want to be a cardinal. So let's just do it. I'm going to move 1. Oh, I can't get that money. Dang it. Dang it. I need 20 bucks. So let's do this. I'm going to go here. I'm going to take 1 black cube and I'm going to immediately sell it back to the bank for 20 Ducatis. All right, now I'm going to move 1 to Milano where there's a cathedral, and I'm going to become a cardinal. Now, the way that works is similar to what I did with a friar, except you don't lose half your money. You have to spend 40 or 70. I don't have 70, so I'm going to spend 40. And I think what I'm going to take is, I'm going to take this cardinal here. Oh, I can't. Shoot. Just kidding. All right, go back. Just kidding. Give me my black cube. Let me refill. I didn't mean to do that. I forgot I needed a certain cube. Nope, I'm good. Just kidding. Sorry, I'm pulling a Rado. All right, so now, yeah, I am going to go back to this. So we go here, do all my actions. So I'm going to be a cardinal. Now, the way this works is I have to spend 40 Ducati. 40 Ducati. And I have to spend either a red or a black cube, a nobleman or a politician to become a cardinal. I have a virtual black cube that I can spend for this purpose, and I will do that. So I'm going to spend that cube, and I'm going to take this cardinal right here. So this cardinal, this friar's out of the game. I spend my 40, and I now have that cardinal, which gives me an unlimited red cube, and I get 4 on this track. All right, so now I'm a cardinal. Now, what do I want to do? I think I'm gonna, I already did my movements. I really want to get to level 2, man. Let's do some more of this. Let's go over here for 1. And then I'll go here for 4. 1, 2, 3. Ah, I'm 1 away. Shoot. And then I'll go over here. And I'm gonna take, I don't have any money, just kidding. I'll just take 10 Ducati. All right, now we're moving on to yellow. So yellow is, what do they want to do? So round 2 is done, so this tile can be flipped over. Okay. What do they want to do? I think they want to go to Rome and do some stuff. That looks fun. So they're going to do 1 movement to Rome. Oh, I need to take these back. So they'll keep that one there. They're going to do 1 movement to Rome. And then they're going to activate Rome because they're still a merchant. When you're a merchant, you can activate these cities and get the money and the knowledge. If you're not a merchant, you can only take knowledge. So they're still a merchant, so they're going to activate this city. They'll get 15 Ducati and 8 plus 4 knowledge. So 12 knowledge and 15 Ducati. All right. Then that was that. Okay, that's a good turn. Then what do they want to do? I think what they want to do is they're going to take, they're at level 2, but they're not in green. So they're going to go here and take this yellow one because they're in the yellow region. At least get some points. And I think they're not going to go, they want to go first. So they're going to go here. They want to be first. Then they have 2 discs left. So they'll go here. They'll take 15 Ducati, hire an Abyss, and then they have 1 disc left, and they'll just go here and move 3. Reason they didn't take money because they didn't want to pay me money because we're tied for charity, so that's good. All right, so that's the end of that round. So we take these off. We refill the manuscripts. Slide down the cubes. Bring out the new event to Nepali. Now we have access to green and black cubes, and then we'll look for charity. I have 10 Ducatis, they have 10 Ducatis, so I will get my charity from the bank. And that's how the game's going to play. It's going to be similar in all these rounds here until we get down to the bottom. Now, there's a couple things I need to explain because they're a beast, so let's just jump to that, and I'm going to talk about what the cubes mean, why they're important, and what happens when you get down into this section. All right, so once we've gone through all of this, we've done all these events, we get to event 10. Event 10 is a little bit different. It's going to go to Brindisi here. And the way this one works is we're going to, if someone goes there, they're going to activate it. So say yellow goes there, they'll activate it. Then they're going to be able to, they're going to ask everybody who wants to participate, and we're going to have an auction. If you want to participate, you move down into Brindisi. The way that this works is you're going to auction, bid based on cubes that you have in front of you. So right now, if this is how it went down, I don't have any cubes that have a value because the values are red's worth 3, black's worth 2, yellow's worth 1. So I may just jump down there because I just wanted to get into the green section. But they'll start the bidding at minimum of 2. So they would say they had this one. They'd say, okay, I'll go 2. And then I'll say, I pass. So they'll get to buy this 10 knowledge for 2. So they'll get rid of their 2 yellow. They'll go here. And they'll get these 10 knowledge. So yellow will go up 10 knowledge. So they're now at level 3. So that's a little bit different of an event. So I wanted to highlight that one. Now, turn 11, no event. Nothing happens there. Once we get down into these rounds, we're going to flip these tiles. When 2 of these tiles are flipped from this, there's 5 tiles. 2 of them are like this. When 2 are like this, the game will end after that round. So we'll play this round. We'll go this one. Still good. Okay, so right here. So when this one shows up, everybody heads to Rome, and then we're going to play one more action. A couple things that also happen in this section. When we're in round 12 through 15, the Papal Library is open. So you can start moving over on this track for action. So if I went there with 5, I could take a disc and put it on 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then at some point, as a free action, I can look at the number of these tiles based on where I am. So 2. I'll look at 2. And I get to keep 1. Then that's basically points. So I would keep that. The other one would go on the bottom. And then I can no longer do that. I have one of those tiles, so I'm done. But that opens up once we get into this section. And then also, once we get into these sections, we're allowed to use the Canticle of the Sun as long as we're in one of these 5 cities. So it's always open, starting in round 13, 14, 15, trying to move up on the track. And then once all of that, we finish this round, the game is over, and we're going to do a pile of points. Now let's explain why the cubes matter. Throughout the game, you're going to be trying to collect cubes, okay? So I'm a cardinal. I have these cubes behind my board and this one behind my board. And this player's still a merchant, and they'll have, say they have all these cubes, okay? And maybe this one. And then this player will have this one, okay? Now, at the end of the game, the first thing that's going to happen is we're going to do this thing called an election. And the way that works is it's also on the back of your player board, but I have this nice little cheat sheet here. So let me just lay it right here so we can see. So if what you're trying to do is you're trying to get a cube value equal to that, depending on what role you are. So right now this player is still a merchant. So they, in order to get 6 points to be a banker, they need to have 7 points of cubes. So if you look at this, they have 3, 5, 7. Done. So they would get rid of these cubes. They would score 6 points. Those cubes are out of the game. They now have these cubes left for later, and I'll get to that. Then this player is a cardinal. So they either want to be the Camerlingo, which is like interim cardinal, trying to till they fill the seat of the deceased cardinal, or they want to be Pope. To be the Camerlingo, you need to have 11 points. So they have 3, 6, 7, 8. 3, 6, 8, 10. So say they only have this. So they only have 11. So they can't even try to be the Pope, but they can be the Camerlingo. And to do that, they're going to get 14 points. So this player got 14, this player got 6. These cubes go away. And now we'll continue down here. We're going to look and see who has the most cubes, not green. And they're going to get 3 additional points. So this player gets 3 additional points. We're going to look at, you can have some money. Whoever, you're going to get 1 point for every green cube behind your board. So this player gets 1, this player gets 2. You're going to get points for your papal library tiles. I have 1, so I would get 4. Whoever has the most money, if it's a merchant, they get 7 points. If it's anybody who's not a merchant, it's 3 points. This player has the most money, they have 20, so they would get 7 points. You're going to score for the Riddle of Verona, so I was the only one that moved up here. The highest number that I passed is 4, so I would get 4 points. We'll score the Canticle of the Sun, which is here. Yellow's the only person that did it, so they will get 9 points. Then we're going to score our manuscripts. They're worth the number that's on the front here. So I got 1. They have 1. Again, you'll have more. I'm just showing you. And if you can get all 5 colors of the manuscripts, no matter how many times you do that, you only get 5 points one time. And then if you have any of the people that give you points, like this cardinal here, he would give you 4 points. At the end of the game, you would score those points. Otherwise, you don't have that. Then whoever has the most points after all that happens is the winner. And that's how you play De Vulgari Eloquentia. Let's go up the top. See what we think about it. All right, well, that was De Vulgari Eloquentia. I'm pretty sure I said that name wrong every single time and differently every single time, but that's fine. It is what it is. This game is great. Spoiler. I've wanted to play this game for a while, and my friend Chris brought it over for a game night that we have once a week, and we played it, and whoa, it's awesome. This is a Euro with complication for complication's sake at points, and I'm a sucker for that. It has fantastic art. It kind of looks like illuminated pages in like some of the old books, which I think that's what you're doing. You're scribing, you're writing different pages from these manuscripts. So it's going to be like illuminated works. I love the board. You saw the board. I'm not going to take it out of the box here, but it's tan and it has tracks. I love it. The bits are fine. They're just discs. Nothing to really write home about there. It's disc and cubes. I mean, speaking my language. But yeah, the production is fantastic. I like it. I know there's a deluxe version that just came out recently. This is not that, of course, because you saw what this is. But even without the deluxe version, I think the components are still fine in this. I'm not going to talk about the rule book because I learned the game from my friend Chris. So he taught it. I only used the rule book to set up for the review that I did here. So I'm not going to talk about the rule book, but I've heard it's not great. From what I've looked at, it looks okay. It's got tons of examples, pictures, and all that kind of thing. Walls of text, though, which, that's scary. One thing I will talk about, however, though, is in the rule book, there is a breakdown of how much the cubes are worth, I believe. Let me see here. Somewhere. Let me find it. I can't find it in here. Again, I haven't looked at the rule book, really. What's here? Where's the election? Where's the election? All right. Each red cube. Okay, yeah, so in the election, it says red cubes are worth 3. Black cubes, which are noblemen, are worth 2, and abbesses are worth 1. Now, If you look at the player aid here, which I'll try to get out without being too shaky. And by player aid, I mean player screen. You're going to see that black cubes are worth 3 and red are worth 2, and that's not correct. So when we were playing, one of the players was going by this. Other players were going by a cheat sheet that came off of BGG that showed the proper colors, red, black, yellow, 3, 2, 1. And when it came to the final election, they were trying to turn in their cubes and they didn't have enough, and they were confused, and we looked in the rule book and there's a misprint on the player aid, and that's the player screen, and that's terrible. But as long as you know that that's wrong, and you have the player aid that comes from BGG, it'll show you the correct amounts and all that kind of space, all that kind of stuff. So shouldn't be too confused. So just ignore that section of the player screen because it's wrong. Now let's talk about the gameplay. This gameplay is amazing Euro gameplay. It's moving around on a map, going to different locations, collecting knowledge points and money. You might have to be in certain locations to activate this track. You may only be able to use this track from certain locations in certain rounds. You may only be able to use this track during certain rounds once the Pope is getting sicker. I love it. It always seems like you never have enough stuff you can do, but then sometimes it feels like you have enough stuff to do and you can't do what you need to do because the stuff you want to do isn't available. And that's the sign, to me, of a good Euro game. And that's what this is. This is a good Euro game. I don't know why I waited so long to play it. My friend's brought it over a few times. We just always ended up playing something else. That's just usually how it goes. He'll bring over like 5 or 6 games, and then we'll pick one. And we only have a few hours, so we'll play one. And it's never been this one until this time, and I love it. So I'm going to give this a BGG Accept the Seal. This is going to get an 8 out of 10 on BGG, which is a 4 out of 5 wrenches on an arbitrary wrench scale. That means absolutely nothing, but we like to give it the games that we enjoy, and that's what I'm going to do. So that is De Vulgari Eloquentia from GeoChic and Z-Man GeoChicks. I'm not sure. I'm Jason with the Board Game Mechanics, and as always, keep gaming.